case, standing there, and they're putting all the wires in me. And then he turns into a demon or something.
Stabbing me in the throat wasn't enough. So I almost died, but there's still some faith worth. So we're back on this godforsaken account talking about it.
I can't wait to post another mugshot video on this account.
Every time I've been recording, the internet is oversaturated with music content. Whatever you feel like. Hey, look at that. I'm at 2% battery now too.
Maybe giving this living tank the ability to ponder eternity was a bad idea.
So there I was playing Needy Streamer Overdose after a long day of babysitting the guy who made my server. After spending the entire day collecting art supplies and materials to accommodate for the fucking asshole who stabbed me in the fucking throat. For the artist whom I commissioned for the past 3 years, I misplaced my charger and he lost his on the way here. So we resorted to using my portable charger throughout the entirety of the day, leaving me with no battery by the end of it because he was using it to be on his phone for the entirety of the day. So the moment I finally needed to charge my phone, he wasn't very happy about that.
Give it to me! Give it to me! Give it to me! Give it to me! Just give it!
This shit's still charging. I need to use my phone. We'll get a charger in the morning. I look over, and he's sitting in my rolling chair with a knife in his hand. Little did I know he was about to stab me in the neck. So there I was playing Needy Streamer Overdose at like 2 a.m. in the fucking morning, just to pass the time as he was pouting over not having the charger even though I just needed to turn on my phone. And I did, luckily. Fortunately. Lekek begins crashing out over not having it and begins destroying my belongings in my apartment. He started with the TV. He moved on to my keyboard, my first keyboard I've ever had in my life, like music producer thing. He ends up grabbing my first keyboard and throwing it on the ground, and this was preceded by him smashing my TV, tore off the fan art on the wall, and as well as began like cutting up the bobblehead that I posted online. I remember when he was cutting up, it was the Luck bobblehead from Fallout. While he had the bobblehead in his hands and he was tearing it up, he said to me, "You think you're lucky? You think you're lucky?" As he was like cutting up the cardboard box, and I mean, I of course didn't say anything to that because I was like, "What the hell do you say to someone that's being as destructive as they were being in the apartment?" As I was trying to calm him down and have him stop destroying my stuff in my apartment, he told me, "You take one step forward, I'm gonna hurt you." I bend down. I bend my knees. I bend down, and I try grabbing my keyboard. He's already stomped on it, and I approach him with fucking Connor. I approach him, and just attempting to de-escalate the situation now that he's destroyed like 2 personal belongings in my apartment. I know you're angry. And I tell him, "Hey, stop! Like, let me pick up the keyboard." And I crouch down to pick up the keyboard, and then suddenly I feel this sharp pain in my neck, and I look at him, and he has this huge shocked face, and I'm just like, "Oh, I just got stabbed."
I came down from Earth to save everyone on the
internet.
internet.
And as I was exiting the apartment,
The internet is oversaturated.
I
with
said,
users
"Call
and
911."
content. Whenever you feel
and
lost,
he
hey,
told me, "Well, you
look at
should have
that.
given me the charger."
I'm at 2% battery now.
And
too.
I just think it's appalling because of the fact that it's like, had he hit my carotid artery, that would have been the thing, the last thing I heard. I mean, at least I would have seen Amachan, right? Remember, Kangel loves you. But yeah, I remember walking down 3 flights of stairs, going out there like bleeding out on the sidewalk, and next thing I know, I'm in the hospital, and they pumped me up full of ketamine.
I've overdosed on ketamine, and I'm going to die.
They told me in the ambulance that I had like about I was losing my blood pressure. Like I lost a lot of blood because I mean I got stabbed in the neck. Then right when they put me into emergency surgery, All I saw were like fractals. This is what this is the best way I could describe and show that. That's what I saw. And then I woke up the next morning, thinking he was still there. And I was like, oh my fucking god. He did not just fucking stab me. But ever since then, I've been alright. I've been alright. I've been recovering. So where does that leave me? Since anyone that knows this account and the cycle of the person behind it, it makes me wonder how many more relationships I'll be in where we pretend to like each other for a little bit before you find some insane reason to attempt to do some serious harm. It brings me the idea that most people don't know me or really care unless they're out to get something out of me.
I don't want him to die or anything, but I know he's going to post about it. He posts about all of the friends that call him crazy and shit. I'm realizing this is probably why they were doing that.
Okay, I got you.
Bro scammed me and then stabbed me. Which is just society, right? God, I hope not. I've never minded being useful to others, and that's just kindness, right? I'm not sure nowadays, since the landscape and relations I've had are just full of people pointing fingers at each other, looking for a reason to hate one another. I'm in almost every social situation as if everyone's playing cloak and dagger, and as if most people are secretly just waiting for a good incentive or a shitty justification to do harm toward others. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to understand but pick no side. I goad on the behavior because it seems like as if you feign the idea that you agree with the hate, you tend to have something in common. And maybe the person might give a shit for a little while till they find out that I might not care as much as I say I do. I'm not sure if everyone goes through this. However, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying I'm a sycophant. I'm just saying you go through a repeated amount of betrayals and backstabs in IRL and online life that you just end up adopting a mindset that poisons a lot of the interactions you take part in. Not all the time, but the caution still lingers. I know that sounds super over dramatic and angsty. However, just look at this page. If I pull out one in particular, I might get a DM of shit that's not relevant and in the past, as the circumstances with anyone I can mention are now nihil. I don't fucking care. As much as I could, and as much as I should, I prefer when it's actionable and something that I believe that should matter. I don't know, maybe almost dying might be a good reason to post a video on here. Reputation, fuck that. Everyone on here eventually has made me out to be something that I'm not, and it's not very hard to do so. At one point, you just learn to accept that in some circumstances and or some people can't help control perception. Some people can't help control perception of others because prevalence of an already established narrative. Everyone on here eventually has made me out to be something that I'm not. At one point, you just learn to accept that in some circumstances and or some people can't control the perception that others hold of them because of an already established narrative. So you just learn not to care and accept it or embrace it or reject it. I've done all of that at the same time since it's just kind of there. Not forever, since you can always walk into a new room IRL and no one will know who you are until you show them your social handles. Or just, I don't know, go private for a few months and everybody forgets about it because they're talking about the newest online drama. I mean, unless you set the precedent and everything was recorded and hosted by sources that you have no influence over, then yeah, what I stated last is true. I didn't even want to make this since this is just like 2023, where even in the prequels to this video with the same fucking title, I didn't even care to explain anything, but she's already gone and started her own narrative over what happened, like these criminals usually do.
I hit my lawyer, the case dismissed. I hit my lawyer, the case dismissed. He had to pay a cease and desist. Really bout my paper.
Are you sure about that?
Now I can't miss.
Are you sure about that?
At the end of the day, Thrice Upon a Time is real, and honestly, I'll be happy with being able to have another video of mine show up when anyone looks up his name. But that's besides the point. The fact that I even have the privilege, I call it, to even be still editing and even recording this to be alive when she nearly took my life is enough, and she'll have her day in court.